The year my girlfriend was at her poorest, I broke up with her. Later, she became wildly successful and did everything she could to marry me. Everyone said I was the love of her life, the husband she cherished the most. But then she started bringing home a different man every night, shattering my heart and turning me into a joke in our circle. I didn't cry or complain. I quietly moved into the study and never interfered with her affairs. She was furious, kissed me aggressively, and whispered, "Aren't you jealous?" She didn't know I was sick. Every day she spent getting her revenge. I was silently counting down how many days I had left to live. In the 3rd year of our marriage, Jessica Miller began keeping a young, handsome college boy named Jason Smith. He was exactly her type, clean-cut and charming. She kept him for over 6 months. Aside from me, Jason was the man who stayed by her side the longest. Friends warned me to be careful. They said it looked like Jessica might actually be falling for him. The first time I met Jason was on my birthday. I had been getting nosebleeds since morning. After a hospital checkup, the doctor told me I'd probably only make it to next spring. I nodded slightly and whispered, "It's okay." I wasn't afraid of dying, just afraid of the pain. I'd heard about an expensive medication that could make things more bearable. I didn't have enough money, so I went to Jessica's office. Jason was there too. He had just graduated and was working as Jessica's secretary. Jessica was in a meeting, so I waited outside. Jason kept staring at me, then whispered to a coworker, "That's the boss's husband? He's so ugly, skinny, and looks half dead." I mean, people say I look like him. Where? I'm way better looking. My reflection in the glass showed messy hair and a puffy down jacket. Yeah, I didn't look good. I was dying. One of his coworkers tugged at his sleeve and whispered, "That's just because he's not cleaned up. If he tried, 10 of you wouldn't hold a candle to him. And don't think you can provoke him just because the boss likes you. You have no idea how much she loves him. If you piss him off, she might kill you." They said Jessica loved me deeply. Jason scoffed and rolled his eyes at me. He brought me a cup of tea and asked with fake sympathy, "Brother Luke, how could Miss Jessica leave you waiting this long?" So weird. Every time I came to see her, no matter how busy she was, she'd come right out to see me. She said I was the most important one. "I thought she treated all her men that way." He grinned smugly. The way he smiled reminded me of my younger self. I thought about it. Jessica really did treat Jason differently. She'd had countless lovers, each one just a pawn in her game with me. She brought a new man home every night, always testing my reaction. Jessica never stayed with any of them long. Maybe a day or two, at most a couple weeks. She got bored quickly. But Jason? She kept him around. She took him out to eat, shopping, movies. They looked like a normal, loving couple. Jessica gave him money and love. I looked at Jason, smiled gently, and asked, "You're so important. How can she bear to keep you hidden like a secret lover?" "You should talk to her. Convince her to divorce me and marry you." Jason's face changed instantly. Furious, he hissed, "You're the secret lover. You're the one who doesn't belong. You just met her a few years earlier than I did, but now you're old and ugly. What makes you think you can compete with me?" A coworker, worried I'd be angry, rushed over to pull him away. But I didn't mind. I'd already promised myself I wouldn't get angry or sad because of Jessica. I wouldn't fight over her with other men. She wasn't worth it. Jason lost his balance, fell to the ground, and shattered the teacup. His hand was sliced open, blood spilling everywhere. Jessica saw it through the conference room window. Everyone turned to look. She tossed her files aside, pushed open the door, and rushed over. Grabbing Jason's hand, she frowned in concern and asked coldly, "Who did this to him?" The helpful coworker stepped back, face pale with fear. I sneered. "I did! He deserved it!" Jason glared at me, teeth clenched, and shouted, "Yeah, I deserved it!" for falling in love with someone I shouldn't, for being called a toy and a boy toy. But Miss Jessica, as long as you love me too, I'll stay by your side forever. No one can tear us apart." He stared into Jessica's eyes with passion, making even those ridiculous words sound brave and resolute. Jessica chuckled and ruffled his hair, coaxing him. "There, don't be mad. I hate seeing you hurt." She really did treat him differently. I looked away, too tired to care. I only said to her, "For my birthday this year, I want $500,000. Funny thing is, we were husband and wife, yet didn't even have each other's contact info. Except when I asked for money, I never reached out to her. Before we got married, we agreed. She wanted me, and I wanted her money. Jessica always hated that I was a gold digger. But before, no matter how much I asked for, she'd always give it. Sometimes even more. Except this time, she looked at me coldly and said slowly, "Sure, you can have the money. But Luke Dawson, lower your noble head first and apologize to Jason. Jessica was offering $2 million to buy my pride. Just for one sorry to Jason. It was the first time she humiliated me with money for another man." I clenched my fists and smiled faintly, forcing down the sudden pain in my body. Then I turned and left. Forget the money. Now I was just curious. "Jessica, if one day you find out that money could have helped me live a little longer, that I suffered so much before I died, what kind of face will you make?" I went home alone, curled up in bed, trembling with pain and cold sweat. I took some sleeping pills and told myself, once I fall asleep, it won't hurt anymore. In a daze, I had a dream. I was 20. Jessica was poor, but she loved me deeply. That year on my birthday, we passed by a cafe and saw a couple by the window. The boy was holding a white cake, delicate and delicious looking. It looked expensive. I remember it was snowing hard that day. I scooped up a pile of snow and held it out to Jessica with a smile. "Jessica, doesn't this look like a cake?" She bit her lip, pulled me into a hug, and didn't let me see the tears in her eyes. 3 days later, she showed up outside my dorm with a big cake. It cost 258 yuan. She had stood in the freezing wind and snow, handing out 30 flyers just to make 100 yuan. I looked at her frostbitten fingers and felt my eyes sting. I gritted my teeth and said, "Jessica, your hands are meant for studying and writing, not for ruining them just to make me smile." I said I didn't deserve such an expensive cake. Jessica frowned and immediately shot back. "Luke, you're the best guy in the world. You deserve all the good things in life." That day, I cried as I ate the entire cake. Over time, I forgot how it tasted. I just know that since then, I've never had another cake that tasted better. I slept for a long time. Half asleep, I heard my phone ringing. When I answered, I heard Jessica on the other end, calling, "Luke." I smiled softly and said, "Jessica, it's snowing hard. I want some cake." Before she could reply, I turned over and fell back into a deep sleep. I didn't wake until midnight, when hunger drove me to the kitchen, only to find that Jessica had come home. She had bought a big house for Jason. They lived together there. Jason cooked for her, made her laugh, waited for her to come home. Jessica was doing well. She hadn't been back in a long time. She lounged lazily by the floor-to-ceiling window, staring at me. I lowered my eyes and walked past her. She suddenly grabbed my arm. Frowning, she asked softly, "Why have you lost so much weight?" Her tone was tender, as if she still loved me. I froze for a second, then yanked my arm away and snapped, "Jessica, what the hell is wrong with you?" She looked down at her empty palm, her face slowly turning cold. When I reached the dining table and saw the cake covered in lit candles, I realized that call hadn't been a dream. I'd said I wanted cake, so Jessica bought one. What was this? A peace offering? But I was already dying. I didn't need cake. I didn't need Jessica. I grabbed the cake and threw it into the trash. Jessica frowned, slammed me against the wall, and growled, "Luke, are you fucking playing me?" I laughed and admitted, "Yeah, Jessica, I'm playing you. So what?" "I said I wanted cake, and you actually bought one. You're just as pathetic as you used to be." I twisted the knife on purpose, watching Jessica's face go stone cold. She yanked me by the collar, dragged me into the bedroom, and shoved me onto the bed. Jessica must have lost it. She kissed me viciously, biting my lip until it bled. I shoved her away and snarled, "Don't touch me, Jessica! You disgust me!" She lunged again, sank her teeth into my neck. I gasped from the pain. She hissed into my ear, "Luke, would it kill you to give in to me just once? Do you know how long I've waited for you to comfort me? How many years? Do you know how happy I was when you said you wanted cake? And now you're making a fool out of me?" She looked up at me, eyes brimming with tears. I glared back, my own eyes red. In that dim room, neither of us spoke. Neither of us was willing to surrender first. Jessica leaned down, her lips just inches from mine, when suddenly her phone rang. It was Jason. She paused, then picked it up. I heard Jason crying, "Miss Jessica, are you really choosing Luke over me? I know you like me. I'm at a bar, drunk. Some woman's hitting on me. I hate her. Please come get me. Take me home." Jessica didn't respond. She just stared at me, smiled coldly, and whispered, "Beg me, Luke. Beg me to stay." "If you beg, I won't leave." She seemed to forget that long ago, I'd already begged her. "Jessica, can we just talk? Calmly? Can we stop fighting? Can we please try to make this work? Can you treat me a little better?" That day, Jessica stared at me coldly and said with a smile, "Luke, you're not worth it." Those 3 words had been lodged in my heart ever since. Today, I finally got to say them back. I grabbed her collar and said 1 word at a time, "Jessica, you're not worth it." Jessica was silent for a moment, then suddenly gave a bitter laugh. She lifted the phone and said to Jason, "I'm coming to take you home." She didn't look at me again. She stood, slammed the door, and left. The next day, pictures of Jessica fighting another woman over Jason spread like wildfire. It was the first time her affairs made such a public mess. A few reporters were camped outside our door. When I stepped out, they swarmed me with questions. Jessica's company had grown rapidly in recent years. She was powerful in Beijing, wealthy, beautiful, and constantly trending online. One young man asked, "Mr. Song, do you have any comments about Miss Jessica and Jason?" I kept walking, didn't even look at him. "Let me ask you this. One's a cheating wife. The other's a guy who knowingly became her side piece. What do you expect me to say?" The kid followed me, pressing on. "But I heard, back when Miss Jessica was broke, you dumped her for money. Then, when she became successful, you used emotional manipulation to trap her into marrying you. Now she's found true love with Jason. They're a perfect match. And yet you cling to your role as her husband and call him the homewrecker. Don't you think you're the one being unfair?" I stopped, sneered, grabbed the press badge hanging from his neck. He was an intern. On the back of the badge was a student ID from Nanshan University. Calmly, I asked, "You're Jason's friend, right?" Jessica did everything she could to marry me. You think I wanted to marry her? Everyone in our circle knows what really happened. You don't? Or are you just here to smear me, help your buddy, the side piece, climb up? His face changed. He snatched the badge back and retorted, "Yes, I'm Jason's friend, but I'm also a journalist. Everything I say is objective and fair. If you never wanted to marry Jessica, then now that she's in love with someone else, why not divorce her?" I chuckled, just about to reply. And suddenly, my nose started bleeding again. It was a mess. Someone scoffed. Mr. Song says he doesn't care. Says he was forced to marry Miss Jessica, but now he's so worked up he's bleeding? I wiped the blood from my lips and said calmly, I'm not worked up. I'm sick, dying. I've been getting nosebleeds a lot lately. The crowd went silent. No one laughed anymore. Except that one kid who muttered, What an act. Nosebleed? And now he's playing the victim? I can't stand guys like you. Always dramatic, always scheming. You give the rest of us a bad name. With that, he turned and walked away. His retreating figure was just as annoying as Jason's. The video of me being swarmed by reporters quickly went viral. Jessica made a public statement. I'll never divorce him. Stop bothering my husband. That same afternoon, Jason's reporter friend got fired. Online, people tore into me. This guy is disgusting. If he didn't want to marry her, he shouldn't have. It's not like someone held a knife to his throat. They say he's Jessica's first love? Please, he's just a two-faced manipulator. Jessica defends him so much. I'm jealous. He dumped her for money when she was poor, then married her for money when she got rich. He's pretending to be noble now. What a hypocrite. Playing the victim while enjoying the perks. Suddenly, a user chimed in, Watch your mouths. If you don't know the truth, then shut the hell up. Everyone jumped on her. What truth? The truth was, honestly, a pretty cliche story. That year, my mother was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The doctor said the condition was likely hereditary. Not only could I fall seriously ill at any time, or if I had children, they'd probably inherit it too. The day my mom got sick, she lost a basin of blood through her nose and fell into a coma for 3 days. When she woke up, she told me to break up with Jessica. I looked at her blankly and whispered, Mom, she won't abandon me. I said it for my mom to hear, and maybe for myself too. She gently held my hand and nodded. I know. She's a good girl. Then she smiled. You two have been together since high school. She used to wait for you every morning at the end of the alley on her bike. You think I didn't notice? I saw her once buy you a meat sandwich for breakfast. She only had 12 yuan on her. That sandwich cost 10. She spent the last 2 on 2 cups of soy milk. 1 for her, 1 for you. You were such a clueless little glutton back then. She told you she already ate, and you believed her. You were so happy eating that sandwich. She was so pitiful then. Her parents had divorced. No one wanted her. She lived off a meager allowance, like an orphan. 12 yuan might have been her whole daily budget. And she spent it all on you without a second thought. I thought my son is lucky to have such a wonderful girl. She's smart, kind, and everything about her is good. It's because she's so good that I felt sorry for her. That year, Jessica's grandmother was also hospitalized. Jessica had grown up with her, or she meant everything to her. To cover her grandma's treatment, Jessica ran herself ragged every day. My mom said, women's hearts are fragile. If Jessica lost her grandma, and then lost me too, she wouldn't survive it. I clenched my fists. After a long time, I whispered, voice trembling, Mom, I don't want to lose her. Just that one sentence, and the tears poured out. Even now, 10 years later, it still hurts to remember. I bought my mom's favorite persimmons and headed to her grave to see her one last time. I was dying. I had to say goodbye. Before going, I stopped by Jessica's company to get something. When Mom was alive, she adored Jessica. That year, she was still healthy, and Jessica and I were still in love. She'd gone to a temple to pray and got 2 clay dolls called Fua. One was a boy, with my birthday written inside. The other, a girl, with Jessica's. They were meant to bring peace, health, and keep 2 lovers together forever. My mom asked me to give Jessica hers. Jessica refused to take her own Fua. Instead, She took mine. She said the boy doll looked like me, ugly but cute. Said when she saw him, it felt like seeing me. She liked seeing me. That Fua still sat on her desk. I was afraid that when I died, she'd throw it away like trash. But it was from my mother. I had to get it back. To place on her grave. To keep her company in my place. When I arrived, Jessica was watching the video from that morning. Had me with a bloody nose, saying I was dying. When she saw me, she tossed her phone aside, said nothing, asked nothing. I looked at her desk. The Fua was gone. I frowned and asked, "Where's my Fua?" Jason had followed me there. When he heard I was looking for something, he grinned. I cut my hand the other day, and Miss Jessica was so upset. She said she couldn't bear to see me hurt, so she gave me the Fua. She said it looked like me. Dopey but adorable. Luke, do you think she's kidding? I mean, I'm way too handsome to look like that ugly little doll. I clenched my fists and glared at Jessica. How could you give my stuff away? That was from my mother. How dare you give it to someone else? Jessica smiled faintly and said, "That thing was yours? Oops, I forgot. I thought it was just some cheap trinket." Before she could finish, I grabbed her by the throat. Jessica didn't flinch. She just stared at me silently. Jason shoved me off and shouted, "Are you insane? It's just a stupid doll!" He stormed off and came back with the Fua. He hurled it at me and yelled, "Here, take your crap back. No one even wants your cheap little trash. You think I care? Stop freaking out. Take your junk and get lost." The porcelain Fua hit the ground and shattered to pieces. I saw my name and birth date cracked into fragments, just like my life, broken beyond repair. At that moment, I truly felt I was going to die, but I didn't want to. Not yet. I hadn't seen my mom. I was afraid if I didn't show up, she'd keep waiting for me. My head buzzed. I swung and punched Jason. That was my mother's. I cared. Before I could say more, tears streamed down my face. I lunged at Jason, but Jessica stepped between us. She blocked me. My eyes burned. I stared at her, crying, then suddenly laughed. I yelled at her, "You knew I was dying, and you still bullied me. Jessica, did you ever really love me?" She gently lifted her hand and wiped away my tears. Then she asked coldly, "First it's cake, now it's death. Luke is screwing with me that fun." "Don't bother crying. I won't feel sorry for you anymore." Before she could finish, a drop of blood splattered onto the back of her hand. My nose was bleeding again. Worse than ever. My legs gave out. I was in so much pain I couldn't even stand. I collapsed. Jessica panicked, dropped to her knees beside me, wrapped her arms around me, and screamed, "Call an ambulance!" She was helpless. She could only watch as my blood kept pouring out, soaking her white shirt. I drifted in and out of consciousness, hearing Jessica crying, repeating, "Why? Why won't the bleeding stop? Please, no more. Luke, please, don't scare me." The scent of disinfectant filled my nose. I heard the doctor talking to Jessica. He could have made it to spring, maybe even longer. But he said he ran out of money and chose to stop treatment. Now the disease is out of control. There's nothing we can do. Jessica shot back, "So you're telling me my husband is dying? He was fine just yesterday. How is he suddenly dying?" Before the doctor could answer, she screamed, "I want my husband to live. If you can treat him, do it. If you can't, get the hell out and find someone who can." That day, Jessica nearly trashed the hospital room. She brought in countless specialists, saying no matter the cost, she would keep me alive. But terminal illness doesn't care how rich you are. Jessica became obsessed. She wouldn't listen to reason. She wanted to discharge me and take me abroad for treatment. She had the money, the power, and no one in the hospital dared stop her. Not until my childhood friend Jennifer Sinclair walked in with my living will. I'd signed and notarized it long ago, giving her the authority to decide everything. I'd said that if I ever ended up bedridden, unable to eat or drink, don't drag it out. Just let me go. Jennifer knew how much I feared pain. She slapped Jessica hard and pointed at her. All that money. And where the hell were you before? You think throwing it around now makes you some savior? It's too late, Miss Jessica. He's dying. You're not taking him anywhere. Wherever I am, that's where he stays. Jessica stared at the will in her hands, frozen. It was a long time before I heard her speak, voice trembling with tears. Jennifer, please, let me take him. I'm begging you. Please believe me. He can make it. He can. He won't die. If he dies, what will I do? Jennifer stared at her coldly. You're the type who survives just fine without anyone. Stop pretending to care. You're just disgusting yourself and everyone else. She shoved Jessica aside, sat by the bed, and took my hand. As soon as she opened her mouth, she started crying. Do you really want to die? Her tears made me ache. I wanted to raise my hand and wipe them away. I wanted to tell her, don't be sad. I just wanted to take a very long, peaceful nap. Once I'm asleep, the pain will be gone. She asked again, Luke, can you wake up one more time? Please? You said, if we say goodbye properly, there'll be no regrets. You haven't said goodbye to your mom yet. You haven't said goodbye to me. How can you just leave? Tears streamed down my cheeks along with hers. The heart monitor suddenly beeped. The doctors urged Jennifer to keep talking to me. They said I was showing signs of waking up. That day, Jennifer held my hand and didn't even drink water. She kept talking, switching between tears and laughter. It was terrifying, honestly. I'd planned to just die quietly, but after all that, not waking up felt rude. I fought my broken body as hard as I could. By midnight, I finally opened my eyes. For more than 2 weeks after that, Jennifer stayed by my side, never leaving. She took care of me so intensely it was borderline insane, feeding me, helping me to the bathroom, nearly undressing me herself. I started getting anxious. I needed to get better, fast. If this went on, Jennifer would lose it. One day, while she wasn't in the room, I tried going to the bathroom by myself. I could walk. Seemed fine to me. But on the way back, my leg gave out. I crashed face first into the sink, blood all over my face. As I tried to get up, I accidentally tore off the cloth covering the mirror. When I looked up, I saw a terrifying face staring back. Jessica burst in and wrapped her arms around me, trying to shield me from the mirror. She whispered angrily, I was gone for 2 minutes to pay the bill. Where the hell did Jennifer run off to? Useless! I couldn't push her away, but I frowned and snapped, Don't badmouth Jennifer in front of me. I don't want to hear it. She has her own life, family, work. I'm the one who's got nothing better to do, always dragging her into my mess. Jessica fell silent. She grabbed tissues and started wiping the blood from my face. Tears welled in her eyes. Trying to stay calm, she asked, Why didn't you tell me you were sick? You've got a mouth, don't you? Is Jennifer more important than me? You told her everything but not me? I said quietly, Because I don't need you. I don't need your concern or your company. So whether you knew I was sick, it made no difference to me. The truth is, I never deliberately hid it from her. The test results were right there on the desk, front and center. She never looked. In those days when I was wasting away, Jason was always at her side. He was younger, better looking, more lovable than me. Jessica stayed out all night for him, night after night. so she never saw the countless times I collapsed, crying, begging doctors to save me. Too scared, too alone. Her tears splattered onto the back of my hand. She turned away, mocking me bitterly. Yeah, Luke, you're really something. You dumped me when you felt like it. Kicked me out like trash. I know you don't need me. Fine, whatever. After a long pause, her voice cracked. But I need you. She still didn't know why I'd broken up with her in the first place. That year, she came back triumphant and told me she wanted to marry me. I owed her an explanation. I had planned to tell her everything. I wanted her to know. Those cruel things I said back then were all lies. She was amazing. She deserved the best man in the world. Someone who could give her a happy family, healthy children, a life without poverty or pain. I had rehearsed those lines 1,000 times so that I could say with a smile, "Be happy, Jessica." No one knew how many nights I cried in the dark, how much I regretted. Why couldn't I be the man to grow old with her? When I finally got my emotions in order, I decided to go see her. She was at a club, in a business meeting. It wasn't the right time for a heart-to-heart. She sounded a little drunk on the phone. When she hung up, I got worried. I tried calling again. She didn't pick up. So I went to the club and started checking each room, one by one, to find her. When I finally spotted her through the glass in the door, she was locked in a feverish kiss with another man. I pushed the door open. She looked back at me, completely unfazed. I clenched my fists and asked, "Jessica, do you want me or not?" She shoved the man aside, reeking of alcohol, and leaned into me, smiling. "I was going to keep you around for fun," she said. "But when I visited your place and saw how pathetic you were living, I felt a little soft-hearted." "Luke, why don't I actually marry you? How about that?" "But I don't love you anymore, so you need to be good. No crying, no drama. I've got plenty of lovers. If you keep getting jealous, it'll really annoy me." When I heard her say she didn't love me anymore, my tears fell. I took a deep breath and forced myself to stay calm. I said quietly, "Jessica, I came here just to tell you, I don't plan on marrying you. We broke up back then because of my mother." Before I could finish, she slapped me hard and snarled, "Don't you dare bring up your mom. Don't try to dump everything on her. You're just like her. Both of you money, hungry. Neither of you is better than the other." Still reeking of alcohol, she threatened. "Luke, when I said I was going to marry you, that wasn't a request. You'd better be grateful." She didn't want to hear my explanation, she said. Since I'd once hurt her so badly, it was only fair that she hurt me worse. That's what justice looked like to her. Looking at her face, I suddenly felt like I didn't know her at all. Maybe all the kindness my mom and I had shown her back then was just one-sided. Maybe I should have just clung to her that year, dragged her down, let poverty grind her spirit into dust. I'd been so foolish, so foolish. It made even me pity myself. She went on, "I heard Jennifer used to work at a club, keeping men company over drinks, right? She got lucky, ended up with a decent boyfriend. Tell me, if that guy found out she used to be a bar hostess, would he still want her?" I trembled with rage and cursed her. "You're despicable and shameless." She kissed my lips and smirked. "Luke, for revenge, I can do even worse things. Don't believe me? Try me." Jessica was ruthless. I didn't dare. I was afraid she'd ruin the good life Jennifer had finally built for herself. So I told myself my life was already a mess. Didn't matter how much worse it got. Marry her? Fine. The revenge dragged on for ages. So long that Jessica eventually got tired and tried to reconcile. But by then, I no longer loved her. I'd beaten myself up so badly I looked like a swollen pig. Jennifer wasn't fooled for a second. She was furious. For 2 days straight, no matter what I did, she scolded me non-stop. She made me cry. I hid under the blanket and shouted, "You're so mean! All you do is bully me! If you've got the guts, take me to see my mom! You wouldn't dare yell at her!" Jennifer was silent for a while. Then she gently stroked my hair and coaxed me. "When you get better, I'll take you to see your mom, okay?" I knew she was lying. I also knew I wouldn't be getting better, but I didn't want her to worry. So I smiled and nodded. Okay. After that, I tried even harder to recover. Swallowed handfuls of pills, let the injections bruise my arms blue and purple. Never complained. Jessica watched silently, then stormed out and slammed the door. That night, I heard her arguing with Jennifer. "Luke wants to see his mom. Don't you get it? Letting him go once? What's the harm?" Jennifer snapped. "You just want him dead faster, don't you? You heartless bitch. You mad he's still alive and getting in the way of your fun with your boy toy?" I sighed, hated myself a little. Just by existing, I'd become a burden, putting Jennifer in this impossible position. I stopped asking to see my mom, but my spirit faded. I slept more. Spent less and less time awake. I thought, it's time to say goodbye to Jennifer properly. Maybe it was a last burst of clarity before death. In those days, my body ached worse than ever, but my mind felt clearer. Word got out I was recovering. Jason couldn't sit still anymore. While Jessica was away, he showed up at the hospital. The moment Jennifer saw him, she cursed. "Scumbags and dogs aren't allowed in here. You've got 3 seconds to scram, or I'll beat you till even your mother won't recognize you." But Jason, surprisingly, dropped to his knees by my bed, crying, "Brother Luke, Miss Jessica is pregnant with my child. You're dying. Please, do one good thing before you go. Let the mother of my child come back to me." Jessica had been pregnant for 3 months. I'd been sick for 3 months. So while she was telling me how much she needed me, she was off getting drunk in another man's arms. Figures. What would she need a dying man for? She was just lying to me. Thank God I didn't believe her. Jason grabbed my arms, sobbing, trying to pull me from the bed. I was too weak, almost fell off. Jennifer shielded me and nearly got knocked over herself. I used all the strength I had left and kicked Jason hard. He hit the floor and looked back to see Jessica glaring daggers at him. She was shaking with rage. "I told you," she snarled. "If you ever dared go near my husband again, I'd kill you." Jason's face twisted. Just as he opened his mouth, Jennifer grabbed a pillow and smashed it in their faces. "Get the hell out, both of you!" she screamed. "Filthy animals!" Jessica dragged Jason out. She told me to wait for her, said she'd come back and explain everything. Who was waiting for her? Not me. I didn't care anymore. Jennifer looked down at me and asked softly, "Luke, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere?" I clutched my chest, pretending to be heartbroken. "I'm in so much pain. I need to go shopping to feel better." She burst out laughing, half annoyed. But seeing I was in decent spirits, she agreed to take me out. I bought a roasted sweet potato and climbed into her car. She's a neat freak. Never lets people eat in her car. But I played the patient card and devoured it inside anyway. Crumbs fell all over the seat. Jennifer clenched her teeth and pretended not to notice. I directed her to a fancy bridal boutique. She was getting married in the spring. I probably wouldn't live to see it. I wanted to see her in a wedding dress. She didn't ask me why. Just followed me inside, eyes already red. We were best friends. We didn't need words. I picked out a strapless satin gown for her. While she was trying it on, I chose a groomsman suit for myself. When I got changed, I squeezed into her fitting room and took a photo with her. Like I was sending her off to be married. I had good taste. She looked stunning in that wedding dress. I asked her if she wanted to buy it. She rolled her eyes and whispered, "Buy what? That thing's crazy expensive. Let's just take more pictures instead." Smiled and left her in the fitting room, admiring herself in the mirror. Quietly, I went out and paid for the dress. She was the best woman in the world. She deserved the most beautiful wedding gown in the world. Clenching my chest against the cruel pain, I left the bridal shop and took a cab to the cemetery to visit my mom. "Jennifer, this time, it's really goodbye. No jokes, no tears." Bonus. After Luke died, Jessica often wondered what had been on his mind when he signed that organ donation agreement. She never imagined the day she dragged Jason away would be the last time she'd see Luke. He watched her and Jason argue, calm as ever, like he didn't care at all that she'd fallen for someone else. But deep down, she knew that was the moment Luke's heart truly died. That's why he didn't wait for her to come back, didn't give her a chance to explain. The hospital took his body. She didn't even get a handful of his ashes. Luke had been merciless. She regretted not telling him the truth that she really was pregnant, but not with Jason's child. One night, Luke had gotten drunk. Jessica had come home to grab some documents. He'd hugged her, calling her his sweet wife. Her cold heart softened. She took him to bed while he was still drunk, then slipped away before he could wake, unwilling to admit she cared. When she found out she was pregnant days later, she cried with joy. She gave Jason a sum of money and told him to get lost. She'd always thought Jason was a good boy. Spoiled, yes, but obedient. She never expected she'd raised a venomous snake. This one that bit her the moment she let her guard down. She figured Luke must have hated her when he died. But then again, wasn't he the one who abandoned her first? What right did he have to hate her? She kept dreaming of him, asking over and over, "Why did you leave me, Luke? You did love me, didn't you?" In the next instant, Jennifer appeared in the dream, shielding Luke, jabbing her finger in Jessica's face and yelling, "Where were you then, huh?" He tried to explain, and you wouldn't listen. Now he's dead and suddenly you want answers? Are you stupid or just disgusting? Jessica jolted awake, heart pounding. It wasn't Jennifer she feared. It was hearing Luke say, "I stopped loving you a long time ago." Her heart started having issues. The doctor told her not to get too emotional. She said she wasn't. Said she was fine. She even started growing flowers. On the balcony were the succulents Luke had once raised. When she found them, they were all dead. She'd heard succulents were resilient. She wanted to see if she could bring them back. At night, she'd sit by them and talk softly. Once, on a sunny afternoon, she'd seen Luke do the same, squatting by the plants, whispering to them. He'd turned around and seen her come home with another man. Jessica had slapped herself hard that day. She began rewriting her memories. In every image of Luke alone, she inserted herself. Age later, at a party, she beat up a woman for cheating on her husband. Her old friends sneered. "You're nuts! You used to change men every other day. Who are you calling trash? Why don't you drop dead yourself?" She lost it, smashed up the room, shouted that they were lying. She'd loved her husband more than anything, until someone pulled out a photo, her and Jason kissing. She froze. Ran away like a fugitive. She thought she'd been set up. Started thinking how she'd explain it to her husband. She didn't want him to be angry. Getting angry wasn't good for his health. She rushed home. But as she stepped out of the elevator, a man was waiting by the door. He looked familiar. It was the man from the photo. Panic flooded her. Had he already talked to Luke? Had he told him something that broke his heart? She dragged him into the stairwell, seething. "Jason, what the hell are you doing here?" She lunged at him. He shoved her. She tumbled down the stairs. Blood soaked the steps. Her baby was gone. The baby Luke had left her, gone. 2 weeks later, Jason went to prison. Jessica was committed to a mental hospital. She acted mostly normal. Except for one thing. She kept calling a shattered little Fuwa doll husband. The doll was cracked all over, glued back together, missing a chunk from its chest, like a broken heart. Jessica always placed it by her bed and smiled at it. She whispered to it, "Honey, why haven't you come to see me yet? Jessica misses you." "And you? Do you miss me?" After a pause, her eyes reddened. She murmured, "I forgot. Someone without a heart can't miss anyone." And then it hit her. She had lost Luke's heart a long, long time ago.